Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, life is too important to be taken seriously. So lighten up, folks. So today's topic is, drumroll please, Fierce Annual Events Part 2. Yay! Okay, so part one was just an overview. So I'm going to start with this one. There's an event that happens, a leather event called IML, which stands for International Mr. Leather. So as you know, like I've done drag for a zillion years and I've always been part of the leather community as well. And in New York and actually all of the states, a lot of people tend to do both, or like even if you don't necessarily dress in drag and do leather, both communities, they come not combine, but they support one another. So there's a lot of overlapping, and because both of them tend to have a majority of people that are gay and lesbian. So that I think has a lot to do with it. So IML takes place in Chicago every Memorial Day week, and I went. The first time that I went was 2003, and I had just been Empress from 2001 to 2002. So I went with a dear friend of mine, hey bunnies, and he had been a former Mr. Leather Colorado for 2 consecutive years leading up to that, actually the same time that I was Empress. So IML, if you can imagine like a same like these drag queen pageants like Miss Continental or this or that, what it is it's winners from other smaller events. So like, because International Miss Leather, obviously international, so it's different countries, different states all over the USA. So it's winners of events, that their own events, like Mr. Eagle New York City or Mr. Eagle San Francisco or what have you. I mean, the list is endless. So winners of certain contests then qualify to go to this one. And this is like the granddaddy of them all. So, and it was interesting. I mean, it was wonderful actually, because you have that sense of community and there's all of these events that happen. There's also like a cute little like market. So people are selling things and you're meeting people from everywhere. And it's just this overall incredible sense of brotherhood. And then the actual contest itself, like the big thing is the actual contest where they compete against one another. And there's where very much like drag queen pageants where like formal wear and this and that. So like the question and answer, and so and the actual event itself, the actual contest itself, of course, when all is said and done, you have judges and they crown the winner, and then that is then Mr. International Mr. Leather, or IML. So of course it's like an abundance of like really beautiful hot men. And obviously if someone is a title winner of other events that they've competed in and won, there's also like the sense of community service. So it's not just it's not just a pretty face. Like you actually have to earn the right. In addition to like looking a certain way, you obviously have to do certain things to get that title. Having said that, I will say that unfortunately, like in life, I don't know if I shouldn't say unfortunately, but in life, let's keep it real. A lot of it has to do with anything, your talent and being qualified for the position, but some of it also has to do with your looks. Because I remember when I was watching the contest and as people were coming out, being introduced, I remember the person who ultimately won the year that I went, I remember thinking to myself, when this man came out, I was like, whoa, I want him to win. And not that I knew him from a hole in the wall, but I just thought he was the hottest motherfucker that went on that stage. And sure enough, that is who won. So, and I'm sure his resume was impressive as well, but I didn't know his resume, and I remember I picked him as who I thought should win, just totally based on what he looked like. And that obviously has a lot to do with it. Now, when you look at some of the contestants, they were all like big and built, but there were some also that weren't necessarily, how could I put this gently, like not in the best of shape. But you know what? A pear is a shape. So they obviously like won their title based on everything, personality, the outfits that they came up with, their whole ensemble and what they've done for their community, which got them that title. But the overall, what I took from it was it's this wonderful sense of community, because the leather community is worldwide. And even if people don't necessarily understand it or agree with it or know of it, because it is, predominantly specific to gay people, at least this contest and many of the other contests around. And it's not to say that straight people aren't into leather, but I definitely feel like it's more prominent in the gay community. And that's why, by and large, all of these contests are for, like, the contestants tend to be gay. And so it was just wonderful. I loved it. I'm a better person for having experienced it. I remember I got there like on a Thursday. I was there like Thursday through Monday, and like each night there was something else going on, like a meet and greet, and then different things and events and functions happening at different clubs and bars, and then of course the big event was Saturday night, which was the contest as well. So it was, I only went the one time. I don't know why I've never gone back. Every year I'm always like, oh, I should go back. And of course you meet people, and like, like any other thing, you can meet people, you could carry on, have fun if you want, but you don't need a contest for that, honey. Let's keep it real. I'm in Hell's Kitchen. I could walk outside my building and that can happen. If I could be in the elevator and that can happen. So, you make the fun that you want. I would think that if you're a contestant, you might be just focused on that and maybe not necessarily, looking for extracurricular activities. Although, you know what? That might be something to ease your mind as well. The one thing that I remember also was I was staying at the host hotel, which had a gym. So I remember it was a few hours before the actual contest itself. And I happened to go down then. Oh my God, these hot motherfuckers were in there and they were working out and pumping themselves. Because of course, like they're going to go on stage. And, one of the, I forget what it was called, but apart from like formal wear and sportswear, like then one of the things was where, like, they were scantily dressed. Like they were showing a lot of their body and not dressed a lot. So of course, the better your physique is, the better off you are and the more points you're going to get. Because I would imagine that in the scoring system, they're going to judge you on every aspect of it. And then, of course, the question and answer, because who don't love a Q&A? Same thing with like any Miss Universe or any drag queen pageant that I've done, because I've done a shitload of those. I did win Miss Long Island 1994 for the entertainment part, so that was based solely on my performing. I totally digressed here. But anyway, so IML, yes, check it out. It's been going on for decades. It is Memorial Day weekend. It's always in Chicago, the Windy City. And it was just wonderful. And actually, one of the vendors there, I bought my bar vest, which was the only bar vest I saw that was like not hundreds of dollars. I remember it was only $50, and it was like small. It was my size, because a lot of these guys are a lot bigger than me. So I remember when I was looking, like everything was huge on me, and then I saw this little thing, and I was like, this looks like something Barbie would wear or something. And I was like, oh shit, it fits. And it was like half the price of what everyone else was charging. So every time I wear my bar vest, I think of Chicago IML, which 21 years ago, because it was 2003 that I went. Anyway, and you could always Google it. And like, if you go to the website, it shows you like the scoring system and how you qualify and, if you want to compete and all that good stuff. It's actually quite wonderful. So, all right, guys. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. Tell all your friends about me. Tell them to subscribe. And you can read a about all of this in my self-published memoirs, The Life and Crimes of Fiona St. James, which you can get at fionastjames.com. The Saint is not spelled out. It's just ST, no period after the T. And 400 pages of like an earful, an eyeful of like all the crazy things that I've done. And it is very, how could I put it? I have a knack for detail, and I tend to be a bit graphic in my speaking, because honey, ain't no shame in this game. So, all right, guys. Again, thank you for being with me, and I will see you soon. Love you.